One of the Royal Spring traditions that I really enjoy is a speech every year given by an 8th grade student. And this year that speech will be delivered by the one, the only, Griesser.
Hello and good afternoon. Principal ones, my amazing teachers and mentors, loving family, and to my fellow graduates. Congratulations, we've made it this far. You have persevered through hard times and relished in the good times. Congratulations, you are going into a life you're once again at the bottom, the new kid. Congratulations, you will persevere again more times than you'll be able to count. Congratulations, this perseverance will change lives for the better, not only yours, but the ones around you. Congratulations, you will change the world. For those of you who don't know who I am, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Griesser. I'm on the basketball and football teams. I've been a member of the academic team and choir for all 3 years, and our junior beta club for 2. I'm proud to say these last 3 years of my life have been the best roller coaster I've ever been on. Granted, I'm scared of heights, loop-de-loops, and really anything with no roof going over 30 miles an hour. Nevertheless, I am happy to say I will never be the same. I've met boys I would die for through sports, coaches I've learned so much from, musical directors that have changed my outlook on not only my music, but in all reality, my life. And similarly, my teachers who taught me almost as much about discipline and respect as they have math, science, social studies, and English. You are now at a fork in the road of your life. It really begins now. You'll be in high school trying to get keys, money, and applying for colleges. You can end up in 2 very different situations here. All you need to do is look in the mirror and think, how will I be great? How will I become the best that I can be? How will I achieve my fullest potential? Hopefully the words I prepared for you can help steer you in the right direction. But first, I would like to give the greatest thanks to my teachers, incredible staff, and to our principal, Miss Amanda Watts. I could not thank you enough for how you make this school proud. You support every student, and I would like to thank you especially for the way that you've supported me for the last 3 years. Thank you for everything. Now, has anyone here heard of Wapakoneta, Ohio? Now, I want you all to look around, and if you see anyone raising their hand, they are a liar. Now, what if I told you an incredibly important man in U.S. and world history came from that very town on August 5th, 1930? He was a recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom, was a man that took the words "reach for the stars" to heart, and truly a man that taught all of us that anything is possible. It all started in that little town where Viola Louise Engel had her first child with her husband Stephen Koenig Armstrong. They named him Neil Alvin Armstrong. Neil grows into a very respectable young man. He's a Boy Scout, earns the rank of Eagle Scout. He attends Purdue University, where he was rudely interrupted by the Korean War. He joined the war effort. He flew 78 combat missions, was one of the first fighters to launch with a carrier, and was awarded 3 medals. After the Korean War, he went back and finished up college and found a job at a small institution called the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, NACA. Yes, you heard that right, NACA. In 1966, Neil had his first space mission, a pretty unsuccessful one called Gemini 8. But in 1969, Neil was asked to board the Apollo 11 flight to the moon with Edwin Buzz Aldrin and Woody Michael Collins. Michael Woody Collins. No, Woody wasn't really his nickname, but I like to pretend that it was, even if this was 26 years before the first Toy Story movie. But getting back to the point, Neil, Buzz, and Woody Michael all boarded this ship and blasted off. Hopefully, blasting queens don't stop me now. Neil and Buzz entered the Eagle lunar landing module, which, mind you, Armstrong manually guided and land on the moon. All is quiet, everyone is holding their breath, and Neil opens the door. He's looking out onto a giant rock in the middle of space. There's a black horizon, not a sound is made, and Neil steps down onto the moon. They've done it. For the first time in human history, NASA has put a man on the moon. Neil himself breaks the silence. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Now, I don't know about you, but this quote gives me chills. A random kid from Wapakoneta, Ohio, turned from a good Boy Scout to a man among the stars, and the first to step on the moon. Heroes are everywhere, at all times. You don't need to come from a family like the Kennedys, or to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You just need a little bit of faith, a little bit of knowledge, and maybe a little bit of luck. And you can go from a town not even 7 square miles to touching the moon. There was another young man who grew up the third oldest of 7 boys in a poor family in Abilene, Kansas. He entered the U.S. Military Academy in 1909. Going against the wishes of his mother, who was a pacifist and Jehovah's Witness. He graduated in 1915, one of the most prestigious classes in military history, producing 59 generals. He finished 61st in academic rankings and 125th in discipline. There were 164 graduates. The soldier was then commissioned as a second lieutenant and sent to San Antonio, where he would meet his future wife, Mamie Geneva Dow. Come 1918, the First World War was waged, where this soldier became a captain. He then earned the Distinguished Service Medal and went on serving in different parts of the world, going back to military school and growing his reputation. When World War II came, he was appointed a Major General. In June 1942, he was selected over 366 officers to lead the U.S. troops stationed in Europe against the Axis powers. In 1945, the soldier, now a full general, gave the order to launch the Normandy invasion. Those of you not familiar with the Normandy invasion, it's more popularly referred to as D-Day, the beginning of the end of the bloodiest war in human history. This was a large gamble due to the very bad weather, but a break was just enough for him to give you one. The invasion was successful. After a little less than a year more of fighting, Germany signed the Paris Peace Treaties, ending World War II. And after 37 years of service, he retired from the Army in 1952 and ran for President of the United States. He won in an absolute landslide. He won 39 states and 442 electoral college votes. He then went on to be a great president and was an inspiration to thousands throughout the country. This is probably the best life story that I've ever heard of. Out of a random town in Kansas came a war hero, a president, and a highly respected figure in U.S. politics. If you haven't guessed it yet, this is the man with the greatest campaign slogan of all time, Dwight D. I like Ike Eisenhower. A hero could be from a random town in Kansas. He or she could be someone that grew up with anything they wanted, but a hero can be anyone. My little brother Adam wrote a song about this very thing in the 2nd grade. Cover your ears real quick. He wrote, I see heroes all around me, heroes everywhere I go. You can be a hero, you can be a hero. Now I can't tell him this, but I love the lyricism of this song. I have no idea how many times I've taken out some earbuds or got out of zoning out, and this song was playing downstairs with Adam jamming out to his guitar about how anyone could be a hero. Now what if I told you the adopted son of a working class family from San Francisco, California in the 1950s changed the world? You'd probably think I'm crazy, which I am, not about this. Imagine 2 college students, both named Steve, were in Steve number one's family garage, with Steve number two helping Steve number one with a circuit he calls the Apple I in the autumn of 1974, funded by Steve number one selling his Volkswagen minibus and Steve number two selling his programmable calculator. No one knew it at the time, but this is a defining moment in modern U.S. history, the founding of Apple. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak founded one of, if not the biggest technology company in the world inside a family garage. Success knows no background. Success is attainable by anyone, anywhere, anytime. And stories of rags to riches did not stop here. NFL Super Bowl winning quarterback Kurt Warner was found on food stamps and stocking shelves at a supermarket before leading the 2000 St. Louis Rams, the greatest show on turf, to the top of the sports world. Pele grew up in poverty in Brazil. He earned extra money by working as a servant in tea shops. Simone Biles was raised by her grandparents, and she went on to win 4 Olympic gold medals in a single games and 6 world gymnastics titles. Abolitionist and women's rights activist Sojourner Truth was born into slavery and still changed the lives of all people with only her words. Billy Joel's father left him when he was 8 years old. Success knows only perseverance and faith. History will favor not where the hero comes from, but where the hero will go, and how hard he or she will work to become who they wish to be. Now I ask you, how will you join these heroes? Or join the stories of overcoming great challenges? And in the face of oppression and challenges, how will you prove that heroes can be any person, that they can come from anywhere, at any time? Today you will leave this school for possibly the last time. There is a chance you will never step foot in this building again. How will you live up to your potential? How will you change the world we live in? How will you make this earth a better place for all of us? If you ever find yourself down or feeling like you can't achieve what you want to achieve, think of a speech by a certain president named John F. Kennedy. But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why 35 years ago fly the Atlantic? We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one we are willing to accept. Now I inquire, where in your life will you decide on a goal, not because it's easy, but because it's hard? What ocean will you cross? What mountain will you climb? How will you get to the moon? How will you prove to your children that heroes are all around us, no matter where they're from? The decision is yours. It's time for you to